everyone! Welcome to our newly made podcast. It's me, Vaniessa, here that will be the host for today, and I'm joined by two of my friends, Abby and Yes. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. I'm pretty excited to be here.
Yeah, same here.
So, today, as I told you guys, that we will be talking about a very interesting topic with many hot takes and spicy chats. It's called red flags and green flags at work. So, we're not talking about professional workplaces, but organizations and also group projects. Basically a space where people are going to collaborate. And we will also talk based on our own experience and connect them to emotional intelligence, ethics, and how we view them socially.
Okay.
Okay, and honestly, once you can tell the red flags and green flags, you can immediately tell if you want to stay in that environment or not.
Yeah, so you guys who are watching this podcast better take your notes. Okay, since Abby actually started the conversation before, how about if we start with the spicy ones, the red flags? What do you think are the red flags in organizations?
Sure, I think the biggest red flag in an organizational environment, especially, is someone that doesn't share transparency or take responsibility. Like they made a mistake, and instead of going, "Hey, I made a big mistake. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do my best to fix it," they just blame it on the others and doesn't want to take the blame for it.
Yeah, that's right. For me, it's when organization don't give any feedback at all. Like imagine you're doing a project, but nobody tells you that if it's good or bad or need improvement.
Yeah, I understand both of you guys' opinion. Like for Abby, I think like there are many people who actually cope in that kind of way. They blame others instead of like reflecting on themselves. And that I often experience working in a group where it's like talking alone.
Yeah.
Like there's no one opposing you. But if you guys are talking from the employee side, I'm gonna talk a little bit about like the leaders. I've experienced leaders that always say, "I'll handle it, just rely it on me, I'm gonna take care of it," but they never end up doing it. So it's just like giving false hope to the employee. And I also agree with Abby that says like there are some leaders that actually don't consider others' opinion.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's very inefficient and unethical because that just show how they don't value the team members.
Yeah, and when they feel like their opinion doesn't matter, they're just not going to work.
Yeah, people will stop trying
Yeah.
if something stopped them from doing it. What about like if we're looking from a smaller scale, like group projects? It's very common in SBM for us to have group projects.
Oh yeah.
Well, when there's no communication, honestly, like I also experienced this myself. Like there's one guy who does not communicate at all in the group, especially when the deadline is approaching. Like they still doesn't have do communication. Like this can cause fracture within the group. Like, but there's no clear directive among others. Like because of this one guy who just doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's when one person take control of everything, like literally everything. So like, why even have a group then?
Yeah, you hate being ghosted. Yeah, I think everyone hates being ghosted in the group chats, and then the other one is like a very dominant person.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reason which led up to that kind of person existing in the group is which is also part of my opinion on the red flags, is that team members that just agree on everything that you say, so they don't give opposing arguments, they don't bring new perspective, they're like more on the neutral side. They're not against it, but they don't have new ideas. So it's like talking alone in the group. It's like you're just alone here, which shows how passive they are, and it shows their lack of adaptability. Like sometimes I assume it that kind of way. Okay, so since we mentioned the red flags a lot, what about the green flags, the more like on the positive side?
Okay, I think this is not a really hot take, but I think a really good green flag in organization is someone that's willing to take initiative. Like instead of waiting for orders, waiting to be told, they just go, "Hey, I'm gonna do this myself." Like they show you that they're responsible without telling you, and you can trust them on that.
For me, the green flag in organization is when every little things are gets appreciated. For example, there's a typo in the poster, and when I fixed it, everyone was like, "Oh, thanks." So it's heartwarming for me.
Acknowledgements. You know, like there's a very famous thing going on. There's something called love language. Words of affirmation.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
so
it's
me.
Yes, I think that like yes is like words of affirmation thing, which I agree with both of you. But talking like from another side, I think one of the green flags in an organization is when the people in the organization view diversity as an opportunity for them to grow. So instead of saying, "Oh, you're different, that's difficult, you have to adapt with us," they say, "Oh, you're bringing new perspective, right?" That just show how the willingness of the team to grow and to take advantage of the diversity to bring them to a great path. Since we're talking about organizations, it's like more wide. What about like in group projects, like the green flags, the things that you guys experience?
When there's actual collaboration,
Like
Yes.
exactly.
there's actual communication, collective agreement, like that's just so good to feel.
For me, it's when everyone doing things based on their strengths. Like someone who writes well does the report. Someone who really creative makes the slide, and something like that.
You love when people really collaborate. You love it when people do best in their field, right? Which I totally agree. I think that's like the best combination. But for me, which I agree with both of you, I love people who are very proactive, who initiate, who offer in helping others. Like, you know, sometimes we're unavailable, but there's someone come right up to me and say, "Is there anything I can help you with? Can I sub in? Is there a part that I can fill you or like replace you?" And that just show how much they care about us. If yes is like the words of affirmation way, I'm more like act of service way.
Very Gen Z thing.
Yeah, Gen Z and different love language. Yeah, I think those are like very important.
Oh yeah, honestly, in the end, the red flags can tell is the unhealthy behaviors like no communication, no work.
And the green flag is the positive behavior that makes you feel safe and motivated.
No, like the best thing with our conversation today, since you guys just summed it up before, is that we talk based on our own experiences. So we know ourselves very well, and we're very aware of that. And also, it just shaped the kind of person we are today. Like how we're working in the group.
So the key takeaway is notice the green flag, don't ignore them, and when you see the green flag, keep building that culture.
Don't agree.
That is like a total hot take. Like, yeah, guys, you guys have to notice the red flags, and then what are the green flags, right? And that actually wraps up our conversation today in this episode, in this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to our conversation. And yeah, thank you so much for also tuning in to the conversation of red flags and green flags at work. Take care and keep growing. Thank you.
Bye.